So we got something to talk about here. A young kid that I saw play a couple of times with San Antonio. He was cut earlier in the week, and people were surprised and shocked at why the kid was cut or whatnot. He released a statement citing a mental, uh, not a mental disorder, but something with his mind. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. It's early. Um, but people thought his statement was weird. Well, the news broke last night that Joshua Primo has been accused of allegedly exposing himself to, they said, multiple women within the San Antonio uh, organization. So the only reason we're talking about it here is because we have to talk about the good of the NBA, and we also have to talk about the bad of the NBA. So I'm gonna read Primo's statement here. Can you see the screen, Bryce? Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the young man says, I know that you all are surprised by today's announcement. I've been seeking help to deal with previous trauma I suffered, and I will now take this time to focus on my mental health treatment more fully. I hope to be able to discuss these issues in the future so I can help others who have suffered in a similar way. I appreciate privacy at the time. So that's a statement the young man dropped before the actual report dropped yesterday afternoon about him exposing himself to women within the Spurs organization. I do have a statement from the Spurs CEO. He said it is our hope that in the long run, this decision will serve the best interest of both the organization and Joshua. Now, one of the victims of the alleged crime has lawyered up. She's hired Deshaun Watson's accuser's lawyer. As of right now, there's only one victim that's lawyered up, but apparently there's multiple victims. So the Me Too movement, the women's right movement, has touched other industries. Right now seems to be touching the NBA. We've had the Ime Udoka situation, and now we have the Joshua Primo situation. If you had to say something to a young man in the NBA right now, Bryce, what would you tell
Keep it in your pants, man.
him? Hmm.
You have it's almost like uh, unfortunately some of these young men maybe just don't realize really what they have in front of them, and so there's a lot of self-sabotage. Not yeah, I think some of it is just some people are built that way, and some people just don't have the right education to deal with some of these situations. And so, despite whatever inner demons you have, you have your golden ticket uh, to fix your problems, including that one. If you get the right advice and you get the right
Right,
direction, you can fix anything when you have that kind of money and that kind of position. You're a professional athlete.
right,
I don't care if you're at the end of the bench. You have a better opportunity to fix your problems than a lot of people. Because all it takes is money and the right people. And so for a lot of issues, I mean, I'm not saying money fixes the problems, but money you can hire people to. If it's an inner, if it's a psychological thing, you can get the right doctors, you can get the right therapists, and you can get on the right track. There's good examples of that. This guy isn't the first example of someone needing help. So, yeah, I just feel like there needs to be more education for some people on these subjects, and I just feel like with the right people in his camp, you can avoid a lot of these issues. But basically, it's just I hate to see these young guys self sabotage when you have all the tools that you need to go about it the right way to fix it. But I just don't think they have the direction or the know how to know where to go and to know what to do to fix these issues. Because I mean, you're ruining your career, which is going to ruin your life. You just hate to see it.
yeah. I know each rookie class that comes into the NBA, they have what they call a rookie symposium. It's a week long in New York where they go over finances, they go over how to carry yourself in certain environments that may have a lot of women who may want your money. Just stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's a sexual harassment class in there somewhere. It has to be. If it's not, shame on the NBA. But I'm gonna say it's in there. Um, I don't like his statement because he know if true, okay, all of this is allegedly, but if true, he knows what he did or what he's done. There's no apology to anyone that he could have affected in an adverse situation. So that's my issue with his. I get the mental health. I get it. Whatever. If that's the flag or the mountain you're going to stand on, fine. I get it. But at least acknowledge I could have hurt. The people.
Yeah.
Ime Udoka acknowledged the victim in his statement. You know what I'm saying? To anyone that I hurt, yada yada yada. So I wish the kid would have did it here because if found true, because again, it's all allegations right now. If found true, he needs to whatever the full extent of the law can be. He needs to suffer that, and his career probably needs to be over with because this is a character issue. You cannot. We both have daughters. Okay, I don't want to even think about anyone walking around exposing themselves to my daughter. Does that make
Right.
sense? Like
Yeah, it's
that
unacceptable.
horrifies me. Now, don't get me wrong, my daughter's older than yours, but it's still horrific. I'm like, no woman should have to work somewhere because this was an employee of the Spurs. No woman should have to work in an environment where someone could expose himself to her. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
You're an NBA player. You can go to Walmart and get any bitch you want. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Even outside the workplace, that's unacceptable.
Right? Yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
that doesn't matter where you're at. It's
No,
grosser that you're at work, but
yeah,
it's still like that's unacceptable. And you know
yeah.
that. Like as a person, you know that. I don't
Right,
That's another thing with his statement. I want to heal and then, maybe speak on what no, we don't need to hear from you at this point. You need to heal and go away so you don't hurt more people. But we
right.
don't we've seen examples of this. You know what not to do. We don't need you to be
Mhm.
another example. We need you to just not do this.
Right,
I don't
right.
need you. I don't
So,
need to hear your opinion and speak on it afterwards. Just heal and please leave people alone.
yeah. So kudos to the Spurs for once they caught wind of it from just going ahead and letting this kid go because they're of course they're going to take a cap hit from it, but you have to do what's right. And we know Pop is. We know how the Spurs is.
They
They
ain't
did the
worried
right
about
thing.
winning this year anyways. They can pay that cap
Right.
and just end the season.
So here's another thing in the report though that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because the kid can be he has potential. So this rubbed me the wrong way. They're like other teams are monitoring the situation because they're thinking about picking him up. No, this kid should be untouchable until the extent of the investigation is over.
Yeah, agreed.
you shouldn't even consider touching him right now. You get what I'm saying? It is ridiculous. So to the victims of whoever the victims are,
Yeah,
we are with you on this one at the Hardwood Nation because this is gross, dude. Look, I don't want to see anything else like this happens in the NBA. We've seen 2 instances this year. That's enough. I'm done. We just need to play basketball. like
agreed.
we don't need anything else this year. Okay.